What is up guys, Fastwalk here. Before we jump into the main topic for today, I wanted to give you a quick channel update. As you may know, if you've watched some of my earlier content, I wanted to create this channel mainly to document my travels into Ranked, which for me is uncharted territory. 4 months down the track and I've found very little enjoyment or learning from leveling up my Smurf account, and so I've decided to instead continue my preparation for Ranked on my main. This is so I'll have access to a wider champion pool, pre-built rune pages, and most importantly, skins. With that aside, let's get started. So I've noticed at the core of every video regarding climbing is this: learn from every game. Adopt a learning mindset instead of a winning mindset. I wanted to build on this and discuss some development and analysis skills that will help you to begin to climb the ladder. So there's an age-old saying that the first step to improving is admitting you're wrong. Now the other day, me and my mates were messing around and decided to play some 4v4s and 3v3s just within the group. I got matched up against someone in lane that I had not versed before. He was a relative newcomer to the group. Needless to say, I got slaughtered multiple times. So I did, of course, what every self-respecting bronzy would do. I got salty. That being said, over the next few days, the more I thought about my losses, the more I came to appreciate losing to this said friend of mine. It was a reminder that I still had a lot to learn. Now, if you ask anyone who knows me for any length of time, they'll say I'm a very competitive person, so the losses I had just experienced wouldn't do. So I hit the internet to try and find some pointers on where I needed to improve on. I was browsing a thread in the Summoners School subreddit, which I'll leave links to below, when I came across a post which effectively broke down League into the many skills that are core to its gameplay. If you want the full list, again, check out the link below. But long story short, this thread gave me some insight into the areas that I was struggling in. It put into words all the things I'd been wanting to improve over the course of the preparation of the Climb series, and really allowed me to figure out where I needed to improve. Now, I made this video because I wanted to let you guys know that this is without a doubt something that helped me, and I really strongly suggest you also look at your own gameplay, as it's often the area that we can learn most from. So armed with the know-how, I began reviewing the games that I had lost to this certain friend, and also the games that I had been losing lately. I was on tilt at the time. It quickly became apparent that there were a number of key areas in which I needed to work on to begin climbing. And wouldn't you believe it, as soon as I began to focus on improving these areas, I've started facing better opponents, and I find myself playing at a far better level. For those of you interested, I went from seeing mid-silver MMR to mid-gold to low platinum in my normal games within a week. So back to the topic, the thread I discovered listed all the skills you needed, broken down into 3 main categories: mechanical skill, game knowledge, and attitude. Analysing my gameplays, I found the areas I was lacking in were mechanically, I had a limited comfort pick pool. There were only a certain number of champions that I could really play well. Now, the knowledge areas were individual champion power spikes, knowing when champions are strong. Objective shot calling, so after you win a team fight, knowing where to go and what objectives takes precedence over others. Lane matchups, so knowing how my champions in my larger champion pool match up against their opponents. So again, this is kind of building on the comfort pick pool. Proper warding locations, so I ward a lot. I always try and drop down wards. I'm usually always running out of wards, but I don't necessarily put them down in objectively intelligent areas. I put them in areas so that I know where certain areas are free of enemies, or if they've got enemies in them. Rather than if I was, say, prepping for dragon in, say, a minute, I want to set up wards at a larger location rather than the regular ones just around the dragon pit. And then there were categories that fell into both. So, for example, map awareness, which was you mechanically have to look at the map often, but then the knowledge component is being able to take that information and then apply it. And the other two in that section were proper trading and adaptive gameplay. And adaptive gameplay kind of falls also into the attitude, because you need to adapt the way that your mindset is for when you're, say, behind. So after I had figured out all these areas that I needed to be working on, I decided to take a key focus on 3 areas: map awareness, learning to play from behind, and proper shot calling. And I decided to focus on the map awareness and shot calling, as they were the skills that I could develop every game, whereas playing from behind requires you to be playing from behind. So by adopting a mindset of how do I improve this game instead of my must-win mindset, and by actively focusing on certain skills, so the map awareness and the proper shot calling, I began to make huge improvements in these 2 areas within a week. I'm now looking at my minimap every few seconds, pinging enemies spotted in fog of war, even if they're only there briefly, and I'm able to make far better rotation calls. Now, I'm not here to boast, rather to be a testament that by identifying your areas of weakness and by focusing on improving in these particular areas, you'll see results very quickly. Like I said before, I went from an average mid-silver elo in my normals to commonly seeing mid-gold and low platinums. So, TLDR, read through the list in the link below and find the areas you don't know about. Rewatch your gameplays with the list in mind and try and identify the areas in which you're struggling. Create a list from the things you don't know and the things you've identified that you're struggling in. Pick a couple, 2 to 3 to focus on at a time, and focus purely on those in those games rather than trying to win those games. And of course, leave a comment below if you need any pointers on how to improve on certain skills mentioned, and if this thing worked for you. I know it's something different to my usual videos, and I hope you guys have learned at least a little from watching it. I know I did from the same process, and I wanted to make a video to help you guys improve yourselves, rather than just using the gimmicks to climb. And as usual, thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.